word, do you feel represented? We are in a time where morals and values are considered intolerance or racist, when sweet is bitter and bitter is sweet. A time when truth is up for grabs, unless it's a progressive's individual truth. A time when political correctness makes us liars for fear to say what we really feel and think due to the repercussions of our so-called authorities. When our Constitution and rights mean nothing in the halls of Congress, Senate, and local and federal courts. When a man must prove himself innocent and is presumed guilty instead of the other way around. A time when the mainstream media and our so-called authorities ignore truth and brainwash the masses with their biased agenda, and then ask the asinine question, why is our country so divided? Blaming one man, President Donald J. Trump. A time when critical thinking and questioning what we've been told is responded to by our controllers with words like crazy, tinfoil hats, conspiracy theorists, fearmongers. A time of theft, war, lies, deceit, crime, enslavement. Our children are taken from us for the sick sexual desire of the elite. Yet nothing is done. Our politicians sell us out to the highest bidder, yet nothing is said. Our small town values rot as the large coastal cities expand with the insane idea that everyone should prosper. Without work, a socialist network growing as the youth of these cities feel entitled as they listen to the ramblings of so-called democratic socialists. You ask, can our nation survive much longer? I can't stop the lies, the wars, the deceit, the crooked politician, the cover-up of truth, the sickness of the elite, the local and national government's corrupt plans. But we can with God's help. And who are we? We are the people who awaken. It's Friday, March 20th. Day number 8 in our quarantine. What's going on? Here's what we know for sure. The facts as we're told them. As of right now, I'm going to talk Indiana right now. As of right now, well, Wednesday, the last time we were with you, we took yesterday off just to regroup. But Wednesday, when we left you, we had 2 dead, 39 confirmed cases. Thursday, yesterday, it went 2 dead. We jumped to 56 confirmed cases. And as of now, we have 2 deaths so far, and we have jumped to 83 confirmed cases. Nationally, we can tell you, where is that at there? Right there? All right. Nationally, as of right now, we have 19,208 plus 5,537 confirmed cases. That's what's new. It's jumped 5,537. So we have 19,208 confirmed cases, 248 deaths nationally. It jumped 61. And 125 recovered. It jumped 17. That's nationally. Globally, 272,042. That jumped up 27,000
349. Deaths, 11,299. That jumped up 1,274. Recovered, 90,618. That's up 3,211. Back to Indiana, 83 cases. I told you once we start testing, and there's only been like, I believe 500 tests done, and we have 83 confirmed cases, which is up 27. You can't, everybody's like, well, I don't know anybody with it. Well, you don't know anybody. You don't know if you have it unless you get tested. So the more tests, the more positives are going to come out, and the more we're going to know. As far as what we're doing, like I said, we'd rather play it safe than sorry, err on the side of cautiousness, and quarantine ourselves. But man, is it hard, because this is all you're thinking about. New drugs. It's not new drugs. It's actually old drugs they're using to treat it. It is a malaria drug, also used for rheumatoid arthritis. The name of it is... of course, I should have had that information in front of me, and I knew what it was. Hydro...
I didn't hear this.
Well, anyway, they're using it in Australia. Drug being used for coronavirus. I'm sure you've heard about it if you watched any news. It is called chloroquine, or hydroxychloroquine. Like I said, it's a drug used for malaria and also rheumatoid arthritis. I guess they're treating people with this, and it's they're getting good results with it. So, and that has been made available right away. President Trump said that he was going to make that available, and they're getting it to New York. New York now has all but shut down. All unessential workers must stay home from work. No one's allowed anywhere. Joe posted a meme there. It's not martial law, it's democratic martial law. I don't know. What are they supposed to do? All we know is what we're being told. There's other theories out there, and we'll get into those. I'm not going to stay on coronavirus the whole time, or as we call the Kung Fu flu. I am going to talk about a couple things related to it that I find asinine, but we're going to go on from there. If you want to call in, our phone number is going to be put up on the screen. I'll do that right now. 219 380 9918. Again, that's 219 380 9918. If you have a comment or a question or anything, give me a call. As far as information, we have some information on lunches, and unfortunately, like I've said before, we do still have kids in this country that if they don't go to school, they don't eat that day. So we have information on that, and we'll give that out right now. If you want to grab a piece of paper and a pen and write this down, call someone and ask them if ask them if they need this information. Again, this is Monday through Friday, so it's over for this week. But again, next week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., LaPorte High School. Pick up in front parking lot off I Street. Again, that's LaPorte Hospital, or LaPorte School, I'm sorry. Pick up in front parking lot off of I Street. Riley Elementary School. Pick up in front of parking lot at the front door. Riley Elementary School. Pick up at the front door parking lot in front of the front door. Lincoln Elementary School. Pick up on Jackson Street. Cars should line up and drive. Lincoln Elementary School, once again, pick up on Jackson Street. Cars should line up in the drive. Heilman Elementary School, pick up in the staff parking lot off Philadelphia Street. Heilman Elementary School, pick up in the staff parking lot off Philadelphia Street. Kingsford Heights Elementary School, you can pick up those lunches at in the parking lot, up in the bus lot off Knox Road. Again, that's Kingsford Heights. You can pick all those lunches up at the pickup in the bus lot off of Knox Road. LC Park. Meal service will be near the west side parking lot under the pavilion. Meal service will be near the west side parking lot under the pavilion. That's a LC Park. But again, that's Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if your kids need a lunch, you can stop by any of those locations and get one. Keep in mind, folks, that people aren't taking advantage of this. I mean, it's good that people don't take advantage, but if you need it, go get it. They were talking about shutting this down because no one was picking anything up. Luckily, yesterday, I believe it was 135 lunches that they gave away, so that's awesome. So if you're in need, by all means, go get it. It's free, and if you don't take it, it's going to go to waste. They have milk, juice, peanut butter and jelly, the sandwiches, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you need it, get it. So anyway, back to where we were. If you have any questions, any updates, any information that anybody might want to know, someplace that has toilet paper that you want to share, someplace that has water that you want to share with somebody, feel free to call. Our listeners would love to know where to pick up some of this stuff. As of right now, since we're talking about the coronavirus, if Kim could give us a call, we'd appreciate it. And we'll talk to her about testing and what's going on in the medical community and see what they're seeing right now. Kim's our inside person as far as in the medical arena there, and she lets us know day by day what's going on. So Kim, if you're out there, go ahead and give us a call. And anybody else who wants to give us a call, our number again is 219-380-9918. Again, that's 219-380-9918. I am trying to get my YouTube channel up on my screen, which I usually have, but it will not come up. That's not my channel. right. Well, anyway, while we're waiting for Kim to call, we'll have Justin go over the weather here, and we'll give him a chance to get that going. We're a little discombobulated today. All right, we have Kim calling, so let's hold on with that and go to the call. Hello.
How you doing this evening?
We're doing good. How you doing?
Oh, surviving it.
All right. So what's going on now? Same thing. What are you hearing?
Okay, right now we do have our official test site open as of yesterday.
All right.
We got our volunteers out there aimlessly testing the ones that need to be tested. Downfall as of today is our testing results are not coming back from 5 to 7 days out.
5 to 7 days out. All right. Any other information? Are you seeing more people come in to where you are?
Well, we're seeing more people panic, unfortunately.
All right. Which is understandable.
Not really having a whole lot of the signs or symptoms, but just the panic stage of it being there.
All right. And in that case, we're still going with the same protocol. You ain't going to get tested if you're not showing symptoms, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Still have to have the doctor's orders, still have to have the 2 failed tests, because tests are so slim right now. We're waiting and hoping to get more.
All right. But the facility, the mobile facility is up and going.
Yes, it is. Thank God for our volunteer group.
Yeah, they are doing a great job.
I mean, they put this together so quickly. I'm just in total awe with the group of workers that we had volunteer and come together to help.
That is awesome. And as always, we want to say that we appreciate and our prayers go out to these workers in the health business there. Because when we need them, we run to them, but we take them for granted most of the time, unfortunately. So right now we're thankful for all you guys. So
we did get a map this morning. As of this morning, there's only 56 positive cases in Indiana.
No, there is not. That has risen significantly.
Well, that was this morning.
We have 83, again, 83 confirmed cases in Indiana.
Okay, because that was as of this morning.
This is as of now.
Okay.
So, yes, we have 83 confirmed cases as of now.
Did they say where the new ones were?
I am not looking at the page where it says it is, what counties. All I'm doing, I can do that here in a minute. Once I get my computer working, because it seems to not be working.
Because we know, as of this morning, the highest ratio for Indiana was in Marion County down by Indianapolis.
All right. Well, we figured out what's wrong with our phone system here.
That's horrible.
Hold on 1 second. We're having a problem with it. Turn it up a little bit there, Justin. Turn that channel up.
What channel?
The phone. There you go. Are you there, Kim?
Yes.
All right. So what were you saying? Marion County was the worst off right now?
Right now, yes. As of this morning. And as I'm saying, as of this morning, Marion County had 19 confirmed.
All righty then.
Whether or not that went up this afternoon, I don't know.
All right.
I just have the breakdown of what was confirmed as of this morning.
All right. So Marion County was the worst off. I'll check on that here in a minute once I get my computer going. I don't know what happened with it. But again, yes, we did jump to 83 confirmed cases, up 27 cases.
That was from this morning then.
All right. So thank you so much, Kim. But everything else, the process is all the same. The only thing that has changed is the how many days the test results are coming in.
Yeah.
All right.
And we are running as quickly as we can, trying to get the results, but it's just so backlogged with the cases right now. Supplies, getting enough supplies in. You know, we're doing the best we can do to try to get these turned around and, you know, get the results to people.
Of course. And we appreciate it. 5 to 7 days. See, but see, the thing is that you don't have to have the test results to do the right thing. As of now, there really is no treatment. So basically, you're going to go home, quarantine, and rest, I imagine.
I would hope.
And not be going in or out of the house.
I would hope, Mike.
All right, Kim. Well, thank you so much as usual, and we will get a hold of you possibly tomorrow.
All right, you guys have a good evening. Stay safe.
All right, you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sorry about that. Our phone, we have a bad cord here, and we're going to take care of that right now.
And it's fixed.
All right, now it's fixed. Look at there. Did my computer go offline? Am I not hooked up to the internet, or what's going on here?
Yeah, I can get you back on.
All right, we're working on
talk.
we're working on me getting back online. So hey, anybody interested in talking or any topic, you can call up and talk about. But in the meantime, we are going to call up Dustin, who is normally on our podcast when we're not held prisoner in our house. So let's give Dustin a call and see how things are going over in, I believe, Porter County. Let's give him a call, see if he answers. Which volume is it? 3?
4.
4.
Hello.
Hello, Dustin. You're on the air, buddy. How you doing?
Good.
What's going on over in Porter County? Anything?
Not much.
Is there?
So,
Is
we
there?
just talked to Chloe's cousin,
Oh,
and
okay.
Illinois, I guess, is shutting down. You can't leave your house as of tomorrow at 5.
Tomorrow at 5. So we're hearing that Illinois is just going on a total lockdown.
Yeah, you can't leave your house after 5 o'clock on Sunday until the governor says otherwise.
All right. Well, that's scary.
Yep.
Wow. You the last time we talked to you, you couldn't even get food. So is there
I haven't left the house since I went to work, but I haven't went to like stores or anything since then. This guy I work with went to the store. He said there was nothing there, but I haven't seen it.
All right, guys. Well, hey, if anyone has any stores that they know are stocked up or have some essentials that people can get, people would greatly appreciate that, so they know where they can go to get it. Don't be hoarding things. That's why there's nothing on the shelf. Let's be smart about this and grocery shop as we need it, just like we used to. But we just take precautions when we go out into public. Because, as I said before, this is, everybody there may be people out there going, oh, it's not that bad. It's, from what we're being told, it's, it may not be good. So,
yeah, I'm starting to believe it more and more as it's going on. But I don't know. It might just be a ploy to see how people react to this situation.
I have several theories on it.
But we don't know. So
But no one knows. And the scary part is no one knows. But the worst thing anybody can do is act like they know and tell others how to, just go ahead and go out. It's fine. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think you could be sorely mistaken if you do such a thing. But anyway, so everything's good out there, huh?
Yeah, all the you probably heard all the schools closed till May 1st.
All right. Until May 1st now, huh?
Yeah. And that's all schools in Indiana, I believe.
Wow. Okay. So all schools closed till May 1st. As of now, I've heard that there won't be any school the rest of this year.
They're probably going to wait to decide that once, because we don't. I think they acted a little prematurely there, because they said 4 weeks, and then we decided like that next week instead of taking the 4 weeks, see where we're at, and then decide when it's closed.
Oh yeah, and like we've been saying, we're on a 30-day quarantine, but I guarantee that it'll probably end up being more than that. No matter what theory you're believing. It seems to me rather that it's going to be longer than 30 days. But we talked to Brad Albers last night. I don't know if you are the last time.
Yeah, I heard him.
And he's blessed to have a job where they take care of him and he don't have to be around many people. Not all of us are that lucky. I think it's getting to the point where you're going to have no choice but to, quarantine. I talked to Malik and a friend of mine, and he was telling me what's going on at his work. And after I get off the phone with you, I think we're going to have him call. So, but what else is going on over there, bud?
Not much. I haven't been working a whole lot.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, I don't think a lot of people are getting out.
No.
Yeah, Dustin works in a, he's
detail shop.
Yeah, he works at a detail shop, so I don't think too many people are worried about getting their car detailed. I don't know. If you want to give your place a plug, you can go ahead and do that.
No, that's okay.
All right, then don't. All right. People can come see you.
No.
But,
No.
well, if you hear anything, Dustin, on your end, call us even throughout the day and see if I've heard about it or if Justin's heard about it. Because right now it's just me and him being the eyes and ears. That's why I have other people trying to get other people to call. No one wants to talk to me. But I just want to get more information out there. So I'm going to get off here with you and see if Mr. Malik wants to give us a call.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dusty. We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye. All right. Dusty said he talked to a relative of his girlfriend, and they're telling him that Illinois is locking down. Basically, you can't be outside of your house after 5 p.m. on Sunday. I don't know if we can look that up and see if we can confirm that. Also, schools are canceled until May 1st. I've been hearing that school is just canceling for the year. Again, I believe that, that's premature also. But, again, we've never dealt with this before. We've never dealt with this virus. We've never dealt with anything like this. As far as shutdowns and quarantines, and you rest assured there's something behind it, guys. I don't think anybody's Maybe they are. And our man Job is probably one of them, thinking that this ain't nothing. I hope it ain't, but it seems to be getting doubling or close to doubling every day. We'll see what tomorrow holds. Again, tomorrow, you'll get to see our lovely faces. We're going to try the cameras again, and since we thought we had the audio fixed, but obviously we do now. We had a bad cord here, but we're going to give the audio or the video a shot with the audio, so lucky you. I'll probably be wearing a mask because I shaved. And my facial hair hides a lot of ugly. Well, if Malik ain't going to call us, we'll call him. Because that's how we are. Because none of you call in. Except for Kim and Brad.
Bueno.
Hello?
Buenos dias, señorita.
So go ahead and tell our listening people that are listening what you hear's going on.
I hear that they kind of put Illinois on a little makeshift little shutdown.
All right,
And I say makeshift because they really didn't shut nothing down. They it's all. I don't get it.
Well, this is what we were just informed of, is that Illinois is basically doing a lockdown. No one is allowed out of their homes after 5 p.m. on Sunday until further notice.
Where'd you hear that at? That I haven't heard.
We heard that from Dustin's source, but we're looking it up right now to confirm it. That's just.
I watched the governor speak. And there was nothing said about that. They're sitting there saying, go out for your walks and, walk around town, do whatever you got to do. Go to the grocery store. It didn't make a bit of sense what this lockdown's all about.
I don't know. Like I said, there's. Go ahead. Hold on. We just
work on Monday.
We just found something. What's it say, Justin?
Starting Saturday, so it's not just Saturday. It's
starting on Saturday. Bring that up.
You can check that out if you want.
Are they saying that people have to stay home from work?
Yes, starting at 5 p.m. Saturday.
Starting at 5 p.m. Saturday, April 7th. Residents can still go to the grocery stores, put gas in their car, take walks outside, and make pharmacy runs. But what does it say as far as going to work? Yeah, it don't say anything about work. It don't say you're starting it. I imagine that you have to be doing essential traveling to be out and about. You can go to work. You can. That's good news. That's good news for you.
Yeah. I'm going to work because I've got a letter stating that we do postal stuff, we do pharmaceutical stuff, and blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of essential in my company's eyes.
All right. I mean? Yeah. Joe sent a message. Did I watch that video? Yes, I did, Joe. We're going to get a hold of you here shortly, have you call in.
Have who calling me?
No, Joe, after we're done talking to you. But is the traffic still heavy? Is everything the same? Are you noticing any?
No, God, no. Going to work is fantastic. I don't have to deal with anything. It's the only thing there's a few cars on the road.
Does it seem eerie? Does it seem eerie to you that it's so?
Not yet. Because there's still traffic. But I'm going to see Monday what it's like,
Yeah, but nothing like it used to be, huh?
Oh God, no, no. I don't have to fight with people. It's just I just cruise at 60 miles an hour going to work.
And I'm sure you only do 60 miles per hour.
Going to work, I do 60 miles an hour, dude.
All right. Now, how about on the way home?
I do about 80.
I understand that, but on the way home, on the way home, what are you seeing as far as traffic?
It's more traffic than in the morning, but there's no traffic jams anymore. There's no slowdowns. You know what I mean?
Really,
Smooth
it's
all the way home.
significantly less than.
Right. Normally, on a normal day, it takes me an hour and 5 minutes. Where now I'm getting home at about 55 minutes. So it's taking about 10 minutes off my travel.
All right, my next question is, since you're a person and you're one that really didn't take it too serious, how are you feeling about it now?
About what? The shutdown thing or the corona?
Yeah, this.
I still think a lot of it's BS, dude. I mean, yeah, people are getting sick. I understand that. People are, dying. I understand that. I'm going back to what's his name? The black president dude.
Barack Obama?
Yeah, Obama, that guy.
All right.
When he had his little spat with when he had his spat with the flu, I forget which one it was. There was well over 200,000 infected. There was, hundreds and hundreds that died, but they didn't do nothing like this. There's something else going on.
My question to you is, Dave, if President Obama did do a national emergency, but that was after 1,000 people had died. My question to you is, what would have happened if Trump would waited until 1,000 people were dead?
No, he would have been chastised.
They're talking bad about him now, and that was when there was one death, I believe. We're at 250 now.
Right. And he was doing everything right.
I feel like he's doing everything right. And you look at the numbers, and you say to yourself, man, these numbers ain't bad. But you got to ask yourself, how many people have been tested?
Right.
How many people have been tested?
Right. I agree with that. And that's all going to come out in the wash. And maybe I'm wrong, you know what I mean? But I'm still not... I'm still taking precautions. Don't think I'm just going around living or whatever free willy. I am taking precautions to make sure that I'm not going to get sick.
All right. And what kind of precautions are those?
Well, the basic washing hands, this, that, and the other. I'm not wearing a mask when I'm out in public, but I don't get into crowded areas. When I'm at work, I keep my distance away from everybody. If I talk to somebody, I talk loud and at a distance. So I'm not getting, within 10 feet of people most of the time.
And that's one way to avoid it. Another thing is the surface. I mean, if you look at this right now, I mean, I'm looking at a map of the United States right now, and just in New York, there's more, at least 5,001 cases.
Right. Yeah, there's a bunch of people in New York, yeah.
But they've had the most testing.
Right.
Like I said, you don't know. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the show, I said people say, well, I don't know anybody with it. How is that? Well, you can't confirm it unless they have the test.
How many people do you know that got tested?
Yeah, how many?
Like I didn't go to work Monday and Tuesday because I was ill. I was sick. So I go to the doctor Monday, and he asked me a bunch of questions. He goes, "Do you have a fever?" He checked me for a fever. He asked me if I had a sore throat. He asked me all these questions. It's no, no, no. Okay, you don't have it. You don't have the symptoms. We're not going to test you. I'm like, okay, cool. Write me a note so I can go back to work. But if I'm infected, I'm going to transfer it to everybody at work. You know what I mean?
And that's what happens. But here's the scary thing about it, though. People can be asymptomatic and not show signs of it.
Right.
So you may not show signs of it, but be carrying it and spread it. And that's why I think they're taking these measures. Everybody's, they're locking us down, and you're just a slave to the government, and you're... Listen.
I was kind of looking forward to being off work, but
well, here's the the conspiracy theory, and you know what? People consider me a conspiracy theorist, and I'm fine with that. But here's the thing: if they wanted to kill us all, why even tell us about it?
Right.
Yeah, plain and simple. If they wanted to kill us all, why even tell us?
Yeah, but there's some stuff going on in the background that we're not seeing, and I'm starting to hear a little bit about it on the gun control thing.
It goes.
They're sneaking some bills through and stuff like that because of all this publicity.
And if I'm going to believe any conspiracy, I will believe the hardest one to believe, and we'll get a hold of Joe and we'll talk about that.
All right.
Usually, I go with the one that's a little less believable because reality is stranger than fiction. And that's just the way it is.
Right.
But, well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad everything's good.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And
I'm going to send you a link.
All right.
On not, Facebook Messenger or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you get a chance to look at it, I started watching it, but I didn't get to see it all. So.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Dave, and you have a good one.
You too, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, people. We try to get information from people. We are getting information that other people don't know, and we're spreading it and sharing it. But the only ones who can share our channel is you. I mean, the more you share it, the more you tell people to tune in, the more people we can make aware of this stuff. And, maybe get more. I mean, the more people we have, the more opinions, the more insight we have on things, and the more we're going to learn. But right now, we're going to go to Mr. Joe Novak. I'm going to give him a call right now and see what he's doing here. Shit, on this show, if you don't call us, we'll call you.
Hello.
Hello, is Mr. Novak in?
Yeah, I was just listening to your podcast there, and the phone's ringing. I'm like, let's turn that down then.
All right. Hey, we were talking, and I said, Dave, we were talking to Malik earlier, and he said, hey, you know, there's stuff going on behind the scenes. So I said, well, if I'm going to believe something, and the more I'm hearing, then the more I'm seeing, the more I'm believing what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's even scarier than having to stay at home because there's a disease out there.
Yeah. You know, I
go
saw
ahead.
A couple videos. That one that I sent you.
Go ahead and tell people about that video.
Yeah, a video I sent. The first one I saw, it was somebody that lived near some train tracks, and they were like, they had their little kid, and they were up there by the window, and they were, oh, look at that. And there was a train. It was just car after car after car after car after car with military vehicles on it.
Okay.
Trucks and armored vehicles and all kinds of stuff, you know. And it went on for a long time. I said, yeah, we grabbed the camera after it was going by for a few minutes. It's like, wow, you want to believe this? Let's get the camera, you know. And then I saw another one, and this guy said, "This is going into Chicago," and it was just car after car after car of military vehicles going into Chicago. But I've seen pictures of Chicago. I don't know if you've seen them on the internet yourself, on Facebook and that. They're showing pictures of, like, I don't know, it's 55 or 94 or one of those. I think the one's 94, but they're showing those freeways. But I've never been on there without, dozens of cars.
Oh, and they're
Sometimes
totally
just bumper to
empty.
bumper. And they're empty. There's nothing there. It's in the middle of the day.
Looks like a
And
zombie
they showed,
movie.
they showed Michigan Avenue or something like that. And there was one person on the street, and there was one car way off in the distance, and other than nothing there.
That's
So
creepy.
why would you be sending a train load? Why would you be sending a train load of military vehicles in there to keep people off the streets when there's not anybody on the streets? You know what I mean?
I get it.
Are you going to need 300 military vehicles to arrest one person on the sidewalk? I mean, I've seen some videos close to that with some police forces around, but that's like way overkill.
But going back to what you said, or not just you, but this theory that many people have, military vehicles would be needed if we are unsealing indictments.
Yep.
And we're arresting bigwigs. You're
arresting people that have security teams.
Yeah, people with guns. They're going after people that don't want you to have guns, who are guarded by people with guns.
Yes, that their house is all set up with a whole security squad.
And they don't want us to have a fence or a border fence, but they have fences around their property.
Yeah.
Which seems weird to me.
Which, I don't know, was I telling you about it in October where they were, they build these, the United Nations builds these military bunkers.
Yep.
And they're way underground, and they're way, way reinforced. They got many physical reinforcements, thick concrete and plate steel and stuff like that, as well as they do many electronic, gates and alarms and latches and whatever else. Well, they were busting some of those. They went into some that they were built by the United Nations, and they were sold to some private individuals.
Oh, really?
And they raided some like in Germany and Spain, and they said it took them hours to get in there to defeat all the mechanical stuff and all the electronic stuff. It was a very intensive feat to get into these bunkers. And then they busted people with, child porn and child trafficking and money laundering and all kinds of stuff going on inside these bunkers,
Oh, yeah.
Which is the way the government operates, whether it's national or international. They take money from us to build these things to keep us secure, but then they sell them for a few dollars to their buddy,
Yeah.
It's just like that home here in LaPorte, that home right across from the fairgrounds.
What they auctioned off with one person there?
Yes.
And didn't
It's
notify
like,
anyone that they were auctioning it off?
Acres, yeah, the county did. They weren't trying to make money because it's our money. They don't care to make money. They auctioned it off. It's a few acres on that lake there, right on prime real estate, right on Highway 2, and a big building and stuff, like $50,000.
Yeah, for $50,000.
Yeah, one person showed up, one person knew about it. Hell, I showed up and bought it for $50,000.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't got no money. I'll come up with it somewhere.
Well, it's not only that.
Not intending on.
You and a couple guys could have made an investment. And,
oh, yeah.
For $50,000.
I can think of many things you could do with a huge building like that on a lake on Highway 2.
Oh, just on a bed and breakfast.
Even sell it the next day for $100,000.
Oh yeah.
150,000. You could move that the next day if you bought it for 50,000.
Well, we all know that was
And, you know,
crooked. We all
They
know that
think
was
that's
crooked.
a bias. Oh yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it.
But these are things that no one knows about unless you're involved with it.
Yeah, yeah.
What we're talking
There's
about
a
is
guy
on
that's
2
running
as
for,
you what we're talking about is as you come into LaPorte from say Westville, by the fairgrounds across the street, everybody knows where the old folks home was, the county home. That huge building was sold at an auction, like Joe said, where only one person knew about it, and they came and they bought all the building and all the land for $50,000. So that's how the inside works in even local government.
Yeah, you know, there's a guy that's running for county commissioner. I think he's running for county commissioner or the county board or something like that. But I'll have to find out. But the guy's name is Joe Haney, and you should vote for this guy. He lives over that direction, but he moved out here from somewhere else. I don't know, Valpo or something. But they started. He says he's got like a shooting range on his property, and they start harassing him out of his guns and stuff like that. But it's where he was. I didn't know he. I can't remember. He complained on them about something, and they start harassing him about all kinds of stuff. And he's like, you know, I didn't choose politics. Politics chose me. You know.
Yeah.
He said, I see all this stuff going on. Somebody's got to do something. And he found out that this guy was running unopposed. You know. And he's like, I can't let him run unopposed, so he's running as a Republican against the guy. But he was saying about that building there, and he was saying that he came out and talked to our libertarian group, you know, looking for you know, support and stuff, and I fully support the guy, you know. But he was saying they said they didn't even stick a sign up at that county home. He said they had a big sign out that said no parking. And like the snowplow came out and knocked it down a couple times, and they made sure and go out there and put the sign back up. He says, well, they can't say, well, we couldn't put it, we didn't have the time to put a sign up or anything like that. Because they made sure they kept putting that one back up, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So they could have stuck a sign in there, you know?
Oh, most definitely.
They can make a lot of money for the county, but they don't care about making the money for the county because it's our money, you know. So,
no, I hear you.
You know, it's like Mayor Richard J. Daley.
Oh boy,
that's the early one, I believe, right?
Yeah.
J. Daley was the first one. M. Daley was the second one, I believe.
Yep.
It was Richard J. Daley. I believe there was a quote. There's a quote. I believe it's by him that said, "You don't need money if you have friends with money."
Well, that's right.
And the way that is, you know, you make all your friends around you rich, and you don't have to. You know, they owe money to you. You know.
Oh yeah.
So you can go around and do as you please, and things are paid for you by your friends. You know.
All right, Joe. Let's move to something a little bit in your what
more
you're not.
Yeah,
where you're more at most of the time. Let's get into Q and talk about what's the new things that are going on.
Well, you know, really, Q has been silent, like for weeks, you know, which is kind of funny because you see in the news they're blaming Q for this and Q for that. Q hasn't said a word.
No,
weeks,
not for
you know? It's like
this.
everybody's patiently waiting for Q to drop something, and you know, he's getting accused, or whoever it is getting accused of all kinds of stuff. He hasn't said a word, you know.
Oh yeah, but what let's talk about this I got that message the other day, that big old paragraph of what's going on. That letter. Now, it says Q on it. Is all that? I mean, you follow Q. I don't. My question is
Q,
all that stuff actually from Q and from his posts?
Well, the way Q works, which the interesting thing is the way Q works, Q really doesn't say much. Q might ask you a question or two.
Yeah.
And then drop a couple links to go look at. And you click on the link, and it's some government document or something. It's like, wow, I didn't know about this. Where'd this come from? You know, or they might even link you to somebody else that's been doing some research and posted stuff on their Twitter or something like that. It's like Q always has said, think for yourself. You know.
Yeah.
And he might make a statement and say, okay, dig, anons. And people will take that information and go and dig, and everybody will see if they can find them. And they go to the boards, they go to 8 of them, and they share information, you know. And, you know, you get a little bit from here, a little bit from there, then you dig the rest of yourself, you know, and people find things and they post stuff up there. It's, you know, it's like General Flynn said, it's a digital army, you know.
Oh, I believe that.
Thousands or maybe even millions of people that are digging into stuff. And if they find something really cool, they throw it up there for everybody to look at, and then that leads to more stuff, you know. So, you know, Q doesn't really push that much. Now, Q has made statements and stuff like that, but mainly he just asks questions and points you in directions, you know. And then it's all the anons that come up with all this stuff.
Now, let me go to this basically kind of a letter that I received, and have you comment on it. Hold on one second. Let me get to it. Okay, where was it at? All right. Now I got this, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those, you know, pointing out different points, you know. But it's all the general idea, you know.
Yeah, I just want to read this for our listeners real quick, and then I'll have you comment on it and tell me bullshit, or tell me, yeah, that sounds right. And it says from Q, this is entertaining to say the least. This morning at 4:30 a.m. This is a few days ago, guys, so keep that in mind. And I'm not saying this is factual. I'm just throwing it out there. So I'm going to read this to you. Joe's going to comment. I'm not saying this is real. But man, if it is, it does fit right in. One hell of a storyteller if it ain't true.
Yeah.
All right.
And like you said, do your own research. I mean, you can look and find a lot of these stuff, you know.
So here,
and if anybody interested in what Q has said about a lot of these things and stuff, go to qmap.pub and look, you know.
So let me get on with this, and I'll read this out, Joe. This morning at 4:30 a.m., Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was served a criminal indictment by the U.S. for corporate and financial crimes. Media owners were instructed to brainwash everyone that Trudeau and his wife had the coronavirus, and they won't be leaving the house for a while. Tom Hanks was arrested 48 hours ago for pedophilia, and he is currently being kept in a hotel room in Australia, refusing to fly back to the USA. The next celebrity arrests will be Celine Dion, Madonna, Charles Barkley, and Kevin Spacey. All will claim coronavirus infections. Italy's airports have been completely shut down as over 80 Vatican and financial officers have been served the same criminal indictments for financial crime, pedophilia, child trafficking, and sex abuse. The United Emirates have completed mass arrests of their own royal family and affiliates. Convicted Hollywood rapist Harvey Weinstein agreed to a deal in exchange for his testimony against hundreds of top Hollywood celebrities and their involvement in the drug business, pedophilia, and child trafficking. Instead of a 55-year sentence, he only received a 23-year sentence. In exchange, he provided testimonies against some of the biggest and most powerful names, including Prince Andrew of the UK, former President Bill Clinton, former Vice President Joe Biden, Tom Hanks, Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Quentin Tarantino, Charlie Sheen, Bob Saget, Kevin Spacey, John Travolta, Steven Spielberg, Podesta, Nexium, and Pizzagate sex trafficking clubs, and hundreds more who all were directly involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was similarly allowed to make a deal and have his suicide in prison faked in exchange for his testimony. CEOs of some major world corporations have been indicted, arrested, and some have been forced to resign, all in the last 30 to 60 days, such as the CEOs of the NBA, Harley Davidson's, the Bill Gates Foundation, Intel, McDonald's, Caesar Awards, and Disney, the Vatican Chief of Police, etc. Approximately 700 to 800 more resignations are coming in the next 3 months. The lab-created coronavirus was a cover-up for the mass mandatory vaccination agenda. Now it has become the biggest covert U.S. intelligence operation that the world has ever seen. This mass 158,000 arrests operation will remove and capture the biggest evil and corrupted politicians, celebrities, and CEOs, including global elites and bankers such as George Soros, UN officials, and the founders of Greta Inc. President Trump will win the 2020 elections, and arrests of former U.S. presidents will occur in early 2021. All major arrests will be portrayed by the media as accidental or as conspiracy theories. All arrested individuals will be given Rommel death, meaning that they will have a choice between their death being portrayed to the public as a suicide or an actual death, in return for assurance that his or her reputation will remain intact, or alternatively, they can choose to face criminal trial that would result in public disgrace. Some top religious leaders will be arrested or forced to resign, and some will suddenly get sick. The Vatican will be the first, and the Pope will be removed in 2020. Production of human extracted adrenochrome will be revealed, and Hollywood and the Vatican will be exposed as being directly responsible for that. Coming up, there will be a 2-month complete shutdown of the world's most common operations, such as schools, the stock exchange, some banks, airports, shipping, travel, events, galas, expos, sports games, sports championships, music award ceremonies, NBA, NHL, baseball games, and ship cruises. Temporarily, there will be a food shortages and staged electricity power loss. Gas prices will go down, food costs will go up, insurance will go up, gold and silver stocks will fall, and many corporations will either go bankrupt or take a significant financial loss, such as in the case of what's about to happen to Air Canada, Disney, and Coca-Cola. Welcome to the Great Awakening. What's about to happen this summer and fall will change a world's history. What do you say about that, Joe?
Yeah, and Q has mentioned about needing to waken the public up, and there will be videos coming out and stuff. And they've said about the laptop from Anthony Weiner that there were videos on. There was a file called an insurance policy, and there were videos in there that reportedly the police officers that watched these had to leave the room and vomit, and they were extremely disturbed. And that was like that one.
These have actual audio or video from what this I believe it was an attorney who was talking about this of Hillary Clinton actually abusing a child.
Was that Samantha Powers was talking about that?
I believe so.
That's General Flynn's attorney. Yeah, she was saying that. Yeah, this stuff's going to come out. But I don't know if you've heard the other thing too. Is that people were saying that what they did was because apparently that adrenochrome is made in that same Wuhan lab in China.
Really?
And what they're saying they did was they tainted the adrenochrome with this coronavirus.
I've heard that.
All the people that were taking it came down sick all of a sudden. That's why I said, they're saying like you're 2,400 times more likely to come down with corona if you're rich and famous.
Yes, because all these rich and famous people are getting it all of a sudden.
I mean, right away, it's like this originates in China. But right away, like, the president of, Canada has it. And a couple other presidents have it. Tom Hanks gets it. And, several, I can't name off celebrities because I don't watch TV. I don't watch sports, but,
do you call bullshit on any of this?
It's like, it's so hard to believe some of this stuff. But,
that's why I go with it, because it's so hard to believe.
Well, yeah. The thing of it is, though, with me is, I went, when you showed me the Building 7 coming down, I'm like, what? I can't. So I started looking at that. I was like, wow. So it's like, where else? And I just been going down the rabbit hole ever since, and I'm way down there,
Oh, yeah.
So there's things that I accept as that's the way it is, And if I tell anybody else, I'll start to say some of this stuff, and I'll see the look on their face, and I'm like, what?
And here's the thing.
Really bizarre. I know that's not some of the deep stuff,
Yeah, and here's the thing. You may have heard me read that and think, automatically dismiss it. Question everything. That's right on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't think we're going to talk about stuff that you're going to go, oh, man, that's lame. That, no way. If you think we're going to not, that's what we're going to, because we are going to question everything and search for the truth. We're going to use something called critical thinking, which we don't use anymore. So, go ahead, Joe.
Some of the stuff that, if I said it to some people, they'd be like, oh, you're absolutely nuts. I mean, like the videos of Michelle Obama's dick bouncing around, it's like, and it's like I saw that a couple years back,
Yeah.
And, maybe, almost maybe a couple years back, it was like a month or two ago, and Connor tells me, hey, Dad, you know what? He's like, Michelle Obama has a penis. I'm like, yeah, I know. As we start laughing, it's like, but it's like, and other people have mentioned, it's like, people are, some people are starting to notice. I mean, I first saw the video where it was Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers, right before she died.
Yes. And that reporter was asking her about, do you ever think we'll see a transsexual, a gay president or something like that? And she goes, well, Michelle's a tranny. And then she starts to walk away, and the reporter's like, what? And starts laughing. Like, what?
And she said it like everybody knows
and
it.
she says, yes, Michelle Obama is a transsexual. And she says, okay, so there you have it. And she turned around and she walked away. And again, the reporter was just like stunned,
Yeah.
But then there's like a couple videos where, Barack Obama is standing there in front of a group of armed military people, and he makes the comment talking about Michelle, says, yeah, Michael and I. And it's like,
I've seen those videos, yeah.
And there's another
He sure
one,
does.
he's talking to some reporter, and they're walking through some gardens or something. He says, yeah, Michael and I, and it's like, and then there's the video, and the one Will Connor was talking about, he showed me the video of Michelle dancing on Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, yeah, Matt Dick gives a flopping.
There's a lump in her dress bouncing around. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's undeniable unless she had a...
And then there's the videos of Barack Obama. I don't know if you've seen these where he was talking. Remember the thing where they busted Mitt Romney in the video. He was talking at a fundraiser, and somebody had a camera going, and he was saying about, there's all the people that'll vote for Obama, then there's the people that won't, and we were looking for the three in the middle, and it kind of offended people and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's one of those where Barack Obama's talking in front of a crowd of people, and he's like, he goes, I wasn't born in America. I was born in Kenya,
Uh-huh.
And there's a couple other videos where he's talking on Kenyan television saying that.
Wow.
And so it's like...
Where do you find these videos now? Can you find them on YouTube still or no?
Well, who linked to them was Q.
Really?
He made some comment, and you click on the link, and it went to a Twitter page where somebody else had found these videos and put them together.
Wow.
And if you go to like QMap, and if you go to the top, there's a section that'll say like videos. I think those are like some of the followers and stuff, but there's different sections you can click on, and they'll show different things, but but you can also search within the Q drops. There's 3,800 and some Q drops,
Yeah, and they are...
And usually they're just like 2 or 3 sentences,
You have to know the abbreviations before you go there.
Yes, you do.
Or you're going to be
and
confused.
Something else that people do is, even with Donald Trump, there's people, there's like the Q clock and the geometrian calculator, and it reminds me of like the kids back when they'd get the decoder ring in the Cracker Jack box, and then they're
Yeah.
As soon as the president drops something or Q drops something, people run to their computers and they get on their Q clocks and their geometry and calculators, and they're trying to uncode all this stuff, and then they start posting things. Oh, this is what I found out, and they use the times that they drop a lot of times. If Donald Trump will drop something at 9:12, at the time 9:12.
Yeah.
They'll run to the 912th post of Q. And sometimes word for word what Trump said is out of that drop,
I don't know, but I believe you.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've seen it, and sometimes, what Q drops, and what, because they do the what they call zero delta drops, where they drop within the same minute, But, and the way they do it too is Q always drops first. Because if it was
before Donald Trump.
Because if it was like, there's some guy out there that as soon as Donald Trump tweets something, this guy drops information. It's like, the guy could be sitting there waiting for the president to drop. But if there's just some LARP in his basement, President Trump's not like waiting by his, cell phone to hit enter as soon as this LARP in the basement drops,
Yeah.
So the other way around, it's much more believable.
You go and then I'll go.
And there's dozens of drops that they drop in the same minute,
Oh yeah.
So that's, and if you go to like Q proof, there's certain.
It's just some of the stuff is just
some of the stuff.
Some of the
What's
stuff,
that?
even like what I read just a few minutes ago, it's so hard to believe because I don't live in that. I don't live in that world. I do, but I don't. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But it's like I said
And,
earlier,
I have
is
a little bit of
reality is stranger than fiction. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see the day in the United States where everything was shutting down, food isn't on the shelf. I never thought I'd actually see that day. But I did. I mean, and we were sort of preppers in some case. I mean, we'll be okay. I think everyone will be okay. But I'm like, I look at the numbers in China. Okay, Joe, this is what I'm looking at. And this is the only thing, I take it serious. Okay? Yeah, I do. But if I go to look at China, hold on, let me pull it up because I don't want to get the information wrong.
Yeah.
But
and while you're looking for that, I was going to say, I mean, there are some things that match, like I said about the sending 20,000 troops to Europe. They were saying they were going over there on training, then they're like, we canceled the training. So there's 20,000 troops running around Europe, and all this they're saying about the arrests in Italy, and there's several like priests and things like that are dying, and as well as the same thing was said about George H. Because you were talking about that, where they give him the choice of, do you want a public trial, or do you want to die by an accident, or do you want to die from the coronavirus or whatever? It's like, give them a choice. The same was said about when you think about Barbara Bush, George H.W. Bush, and John McCain all died within months of each other.
oh yeah.
And they said they gave them the same choice too. And if you remember that video I showed you where John Kasich was on CNN, and he was talking about something. He goes, "Well, yeah, that was within 24 hours after John McCain was put to death," and he said that on CNN.
Yeah.
And then the McCain girl that's on The View.
Yeah, his
I don't
daughter.
know which one it is. Yeah, and she was on The View talking, and she said, "Yeah, well," and like my dad, but you can't put him to. She says you can't kill him again, so whatever. And it's like, what? He was supposed to have died of natural causes, and she says you can't kill him again.
Oh wow.
And that's another Q proof. Another Q proof is Q said. Now, see, they always call John McCain No Name. Whenever you talk about codes and stuff, they always referred to him as No Name. And there were a couple different reasons for that, but so Q said No Name will be in the news in 30 days. And it was 30 days to the minute that John McCain died.
Wow.
The same minute that he was pronounced dead, 30 days to the minute.
Wow.
So it's like, how do you know he's going to die in exactly 30 days?
Yeah,
the
that's not a coincidence. It can't be a.
Yeah.
If it is, that's something. I
Yeah,
mean,
what are the odds?
that's
What
a
are
good
the odds
guess.
of that happening?
you better
You know.
play, you better play the lottery that day.
And having followed Q, at the time when they dropped that, it was like, when he said no name will be in the news in 30 days, everybody knew exactly they were talking about John McCain.
Yeah.
So they were waiting on that day, and then bang, you're like, yeah, John McCain died. It was like, what? Of course, everybody runs out to their Q clocks and stuff. Like, well, the same minute. It was like...
All right, I want to move on here for a minute, Joe. And here's what I wanted to say is I looked it up and I got the information. Am I wrong in saying there's like 1.5 billion people that live in China?
Yeah. Well, no, you're not wrong.
I am right.
So, no.
Okay.
You are right, yes.
All right, so
Am I wrong or am I right? I don't know.
Now this is if you can believe anything China says. All right, I got a few things on China right now. This is if you can believe anything China says. All right, I'm not saying it's a lie, but here we go. 8.5 billion or million people, 1.5 billion people. Compared to the United States, we have a little over 300 million. Correct?
We have 327.2 million.
327 million.
According to that's according to the 2010 census.
And China has 1.5 billion. All right. Mainline cases in China.
I think China has 1.3 billion because the way that I remember it is it's the U.S. population plus 1 billion.
All right.
So I think it's 1.3 billion.
All right. So regardless, China has 1.3 billion civilians. Okay, China's mainland cases of coronavirus was 80,967 out of 1.3 billion. They had about what we have in, less than what they had, less confirmed cases than we did back in 90 of deaths from the flu, which is anywhere acceptable is what? Anywhere between 40 and 70,000 a year?
Worldwide
or is that worldwide?
Yeah, I don't know.
But mainland China had only 80,000. I mean, that's a lot. Don't get me wrong. But out of 1.3 billion, that is pretty insignificant.
Those numbers are so massive that it's hard to picture as a human.
And
hard to picture 1.3 billion.
But out of that 80,967. 71,150 recovered. And only 3,248 deaths. All right? How is it that that these numbers are so few? And you go to Russia, which it borders China, they have 253 cases, 12 recovered.
Yeah.
Compared to the United States, that right now has 19,382 confirmed, 250 deaths. So we have as many deaths as Russia basically has cases. That borders. Does something seem odd there, Joe?
Yeah. I think it's a narrative. It's like
that's what boggles my mind. That's what has me going. Hold on a minute. That don't make no sense. Russia, and this is if we can believe anything Russia says or anything China says. Granted, they lie. But guess who else lies? The United States, especially the government.
It wouldn't surprise me that we're all being told that story here, and over there they're being told something different. It wouldn't surprise me either. You know.
But just looking at these numbers that they make available, I'm like, anybody can look at this, and I'm a dumbass, and I'm looking at it going, what in the hell? That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
There's disinformation here, but which side is it coming from? And then it's like, it's so blatantly in your face. Is this stuff that I read true then? It makes you wonder.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, people say back and forth, it's like, oh, it's way, way stronger than the flu, and then, other reports you hear, it's like, well, it's not even as strong as the flu,
Well, and here's the thing, no matter where you go, there's going to be controversy either way. If they don't lock us down, then they're going to say the government wants to kill us. If they do lock us down, the government wants to control us. Do you understand? It goes both ways.
Yep.
And in my mind, I want to be like, oh, it's real, and I'm taking the proper precautions. In my mind, I want to be like, it's real, because I don't want to believe that they're lying to us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know they lie to us.
Well, and it's the thing that you would say, well, worst case scenario, what's the worst that can happen if I over prepare,
Yeah, but the
I
thing
think that's
is,
a tool that they use,
And I also have to take into account, people are losing trillions of dollars. People are.
They shut down GM manufacturing plants.
I mean, this is
GM
no longer.
Down.
This is no longer billions, millions. This is in the trillions now of dollars that people are losing. People don't just voluntarily lose trillions of dollars.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is I think part of this whole thing is resetting the debt they see at currency.
But it will take a long. Won't that take a long time to do though?
Well, it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be rough switching entire monetary systems. You know what I mean? So you using the coronavirus. Okay, we can arrest the people, and it'll be a good excuse for when the whole money thing crashes. We can blame it on the coronavirus, and then we can bring the new system out of that. If they told everybody, hey, we're going to crash the entire system and come up with a new money, people like, what? People would be angry. It's like I say about Henry Ford said that, it's just as well people don't understand the money system, because if they did, there'd be a revolution by tomorrow morning.
And here's the thing, we're trying to report the truth, but no one knows what the truth is. I mean, today on Facebook, even my wife pointed out, people aren't kidding around about it as much as they were before. And second, my wife said, hey, this person who normally goes along with everything posted, hey, do you feel like you're not being told the whole story here? I mean, this is somebody who don't question anything. They just, do what you're told and shut up. It's one of them sheeple people. And people are starting to question.
But I do see people starting to wake up. There's somebody I know that's a huge Barack Obama fan, and they start. There was a thing on the thing about Joe Biden and Burisma and laundering billions of dollars out of Ukraine and China and stuff, and he posted up on Facebook, and he said, "Is this real?" And there was another person I know, this extreme liberal, was like, "No, it's not." I'm like, how do you prove that something didn't happen. I mean, you can't prove a negative. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
But it's just right off the bat. It's like, no, it's not true. It's like, what? But the thing I was getting is this extremely liberal person was starting to question, is this real? I mean...
but that's the thing, is that you don't... I don't think anyone should just toe the line. I don't think people should believe me and you. I don't believe people should believe... You believe what you see. You use critical thinking. What you do investigation, and you read not just one article on a subject, but many. You use your mind. Does this make sense? Does it? And a lot of times, if you look at the narrative of things, you realize this makes no sense. What do you mean? Here's my question, why are we being locked down, but illegals are being able to cross our border? What, it's... It blows my mind that, here you go. Canada and the U.S. agree to shut down borders, except for essential workers, because essential workers can't carry a virus.
The thing is, I saw it was I don't know what's the thing on the History Channel or something a long time ago. They were talking about where the border crosses through this town, and they're pointing out different things. There was a factory that literally crosses the border. The building goes right across the border.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that would be, you can't operate your factory without crossing the border. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and it's hard to say what they mean, you know. FBI, are they essential? You know, I would think, you know, especially if you like they're standing up, you know, they arrested Trudeau and stuff. So essential workers, I mean, that's kind of vague.
And when you say essential,
they get to decide who's essential.
If you say essential and half the local government is shut down, why are we paying these local government people to work? Isn't there a way we can, in many aspects, I heard today that LaPorte has more employees now with the technology we have than what we did when we did paper and pencil business. When we just did things on paper. That makes no sense to me.
Well, you know, I mean, it's like people say about, oh no, this technology is going to take our jobs away. Well, you know, I think what happened is back in the day when there was no technology, people worked, you know, all day long every day, and now it's, you know, it's cut back to 40-hour a week, and it's the cost. I mean, the standard of living is about the same, you know. But if you think about, okay, you remember telephone operators? You probably don't remember them. I don't remember them either, but
I remember party lines. But go ahead.
Yeah, you've seen the movies where the ladies sat there with the earphones on. They would say, "Hey, Mabel, get me Bob," and they'd be plugging the things in back and forth.
Yeah.
How many of those things around the country do you think they employed as peak? Every city had at least one operator around the clock.
Yeah.
And cities like Chicago and stuff, they had dozens of them.
Oh yeah, you would have to.
So what about when relays took away their job? You know?
Oh yeah, same thing.
Tractors. The tractor, like 95% of the people in the country were farmers. You know, because you can't farm a lot when you got a horse. You're doing with a horse. Tractors, man. After that, it's like 3% of the people in the country now are farmers, and probably most of them are hobby farmers. You can't say 97% of the population is unemployed now. You know,
no,
they found other things to do.
But all news is biased anymore, and we fear and a big story that affects everyone, you get viewers.
Yeah.
And viewers mean money. If you said, "Oh, everything's going great today, everything's doing fine," Trump's doing the right thing. As a matter of fact, I want to get on something real quick, Joe. So hold on the line, all right?
Yep.
Because I'm going to have to unplug this and plug it in somewhere else. We're told that do the speaker, the microphone. We're told that now it's a big deal because Trump calls the coronavirus the Chinese virus. And what I think's funny is after he's been called on it, he's been saying it ever since. He don't stop, and I think that's hilarious. But funny, let's take a listen at CNN and all these other people on the liberal side. We'll see how they said it when this first came out. All right, let's check it out.
Especially Trump calling it the Wuhan or the Chinese coronavirus.
The Chinese coronavirus.
Labeling COVID-19 a foreign virus.
A foreign virus.
Foreign virus?
As a, quote, foreign virus. It's going to come across
Well,
to a
this
lot
is
of
them
Americans
cutting
as
on him
smacking
saying
of xenophobia.
They're looking for someone to blame.
Okay.
All right,
Dr.
so
Michael
they're cutting on Trump there for saying the coronavirus and the Chinese virus and all these things. And I believe we have a cut of them using it, but I guess not because they take that off YouTube. When this came out, you can look at video after video after video after video of them calling it the Wuhan virus. You know why, people? It's because you call West Nile virus. That's where it was from. Lyme disease. A whole bunch of that's where they get their names, is where they're from or from the scientists that discovered them. Yeah, calling it the Chinese virus, it isn't a... First of all, I don't know when China... Joe, you're back on. I don't know when China became a race. It's a nationality. Just like... That's like saying that American is a race. No, there's a lot of different races in China. But their nationality is... What?
You know, this girl, I just saw a feud on that on Facebook. This girl was saying something about, what really caused, a bunch of the problem is when Donald Trump called the virus Chinese.
It is a Chinese virus. It came from China.
And then some other, and there were people feuding back and forth. And this one guy jumped in there and he said, well, would you call that Chinese food? And the girl said, well, I'm just done. I'm done. Goodbye.
Because don't let facts...
Yeah, you made a great point. I'm leaving,
and let's not argue about it. Let's not admit that, you know what, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Because we can't do that. And that goes on both sides, Democratic or Republican. No one admits when they're wrong.
Yep.
Man, I'll tell you what, you couldn't live in my house with my wife if you can't admit you're wrong. Woo! Man, that's just the way it goes in my house. I'm wrong.
You're not just wrong in your house. You're wrong.
I know, Joe. I know. I'm wrong. But anyway, Joe, you got anything else?
Like somebody had said something about if you say something in your it's like the old thing about it, if a tree falls in the forest and you're not there, does it make a sound? If you say something and your wife's not there here, you're still wrong,
Well, that was...
I think the answer is yes.
That... hold on. All right. What the? Okay. We got it figured out. Yeah, it boggles my mind how people, it's just common sense things. And that it's not a race. Being from China, Chinese.
You know what boggles my mind?
What's that?
Is that how people are so manipulated by what narrative is pushed on them. They read that, and it comes from somebody that they normally agree with, and then they, without thinking about it, they jump on that bandwagon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just...
And yeah, on both sides, you know.
I think everybody does that to some extent.
Yep.
It's not... we do it. We listen to somebody that we trust, and a lot of times we'll jump on that bandwagon with them just because... Now, I know we do our research and look at stuff. We just don't believe everything everybody tells us. But we do have a tendency to, believe it even before we check it. And
I'm kind of the other way around.
No, you're
when
not.
I hear something.
No, you're not.
Yeah, when I hear something, I try to discount it. I try to think of a good argument against it. And then sometimes it's just like, you know what, I can't come up with on that. Okay, I'll agree. But I mean, I resist to start with, and I was like, I really want to be able to, take what you said and beat you over the head with it. And after a while, it's like, no, I can't. I have to agree with it. You know what I mean?
Are you going to?
So I'm the antagonist first, I think. And then when I have to agree, I have to agree.
Are you going to finish that croissant?
We're using the sound effects thing we got. We're just playing around with it. But anyway, yeah, I think I know that you love to throw people stuff down people's in their face when they say something. I've been on the receiving end of that many times. But Joe, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna move on. We still have some stuff to talk about, and we still have one more person to call tonight. You'll never guess who that person is.
All right, I will talk to you later then.
All right, buddy. All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Okay.
All right. And that was our guy, Mr. Joe. Yes, Joe is a QAnon. Wow, that was pretty dramatic.
Headshot.
Anyway, we're going to go talk to our last caller. First of all, if there's anybody who wants to call, please call in. Please. We'll put the number up again. You guys can bring up any topic you want to talk about. We're not shy here. Phone number is 219-380-9918. 219-380-9918. If you have a topic you'd like to talk about, or any information that you'd like to share about what's going on in your area, or anything you've seen, information about this Kung Fu flu, otherwise known as COVID-19, give us a call and let us know. Here's what we know for sure. I'm going to go over this too. The testing. Everything's the same as what we said yesterday. They finally, on Michigan City at St. Franciscan Hospital in Michigan City off 94, right off of Lincoln Way 421. It's Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Remember, everyone working there is a volunteer. Our medical professionals here are the greatest. They're, risking their own lives for our well-being. Before you can get the test, you have to take a couple tests prior to that at your local doctor's office and or clinic. First, you have to test negative on a respiratory panel test, and then you have to test negative on the flu test. That is if you have symptoms. And if them tests come back negative, you have to have a doctor's order to go to the test site. Again, that's at St. Franciscan Hospital in Michigan City. You have to have the doctor's order. They will give you a number to call so you can register. They'll give you a time to come. It is a drive-up site. You drive up, you do not get out of your car. You will drive up. They will give you the test, the paperwork. People are going to come up to you. They're going to have gowns, masks, face shields, gloves on. Just like you're dealing with the pandemic, which we are. And they're going to run the test on you, the swab test. I don't know whether it's nasal or the mouth or the throat. I believe it. I'm being told that it is nasal, but I'm not sure. The only thing that has changed is from our contact, Kim. She's telling us that the test results don't come in. They're 5 to 7 days out. So, but the good news is you don't have to wait for the test results to do the right thing, which is quarantine yourself. Everyone, if you are living with someone that tests positive, you should get yourself tested. In that case, I don't know if you have to go to the doctor to get these panels. Call your physician and ask. Or if you just go up to the site and get tested. That is something you're going to have to call your physician on, because I don't have that information. But here's what we know. We know that here in Indiana, Wednesday, the last time we were on air, there was 2 deaths. We had 39 confirmed cases. Thursday, yesterday, we had 2 deaths, 53 confirmed cases. Today, we have 2 deaths, 83 confirmed cases. I believe we'd have 500 and some tests done. So, like we said before, you ain't going to know what the numbers are if you're not tested. Well, I don't know nobody with it. How many people do you know that's been tested even? That's what you got to ask yourself. On the national front, this is what we know. This is the facts as we're being told. National news, 19,382 confirmed cases, 250 deaths, 125 have recovered. Globally, 272,042 cases. That's up 27,349. 11,299 deaths and 90,618 recovered. That's what we are being told. All I can give you is the news that I'm being told. You may not believe the numbers. You may not believe that even the whole narrative of the Kung Fu flu itself. Another fact we had last time we were on the air is people in Europe are questioning, why is the American government sending troops over here, 22,000, without masks on, running around without masks? Now, Italy is also telling us that, yes, overnight, just in one day, from yesterday to today, 500 deaths. They're having trucks, military vehicles, picking up dead bodies and taking the bodies to a cremation fields. Mass cremation fields is what I'm being told. But that's what we know as facts as we're being told by our government and their agencies. What do we do? Well, there's a couple things we can do. You can quarantine yourself. You can isolate yourself. You can do what Dave Malick's doing. On the lighter side, take other measures that you normally don't take. The washing of the hands all the time, social distancing. I understand if you have to go to work. You have to go to work. I feel like that's going to be coming to an end soon. But while you have to go to work, keep this in the back of your mind. Make sure that you're washing your hands properly. If you don't wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds, at least, you are doing no good. Wash your hands. Stop putting your fingers in your nose. Stop putting your hands in your mouth. Stop rubbing your eyes with your hands. Keep a distance of at least 10 feet between you and other people, if at all possible. If your job, if they require you to be closer, I don't know what to tell you, people. At this point, I have to go with what the professionals are telling me, and I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no amount of money, ain't no house, ain't no car worth my family dying. I'll get food. I'll get medicines. But there's no possession I have that's worth my family dying for. So, and the thing is you might be a young couple or a young person, and I'm not too worried because young people, aren't dying from this; they're just getting sick. There's a lot of young people on respirators with this, but even besides that, you could go to one of your grandma, grandpa, mom, dad's house and infect them, and then what? When they die, then what? You want that blood on your hands? I don't. So I tend to side on the, as you know, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So what else can we do? We can spend time with our family, and I'll get more on that here in a minute and our closing. But guess what time it is? It is time for Mr. Steve. Let's see if Mr. Steve is available.
Well, top of the day to you.
Well, hey there, Mr. Steve. How you doing today?
Not too bad.
Any news?
Not too bad.
What's going on in your world?
Well, about the same, I guess, as anybody else's. Make it from day to day and listen to everything that's, should I see, being offered to us, fed to us through the news.
Yeah.
Then you got to set, all the different news agencies you listen to, and
you get your decoder ring out, like Joe said, and decipher it when you're done.
Oh yeah, my decoder ring, it put it on tilt. It just said that does not compute.
So we talked to you. We didn't talk to you last night. We talked to you the night before. Go ahead.
I tried to call you last night on personal time. I guess you must have had your phone shut off.
I took a good nap yesterday afternoon and spent some time with the family and worked out my shop and took a break from all this.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about anyway, just BS on the side.
Yeah, it's just, it gets overwhelming when this is what you do. You try to gather information for your, 5 followers and let them know what's going on. And one day we'll get some shares, and we'll have people, hopefully a lot more people on here, and people that aren't afraid to call in.
Yeah.
Is it that hard? Is it that hard to call in and talk to me, Steve?
No.
No? I didn't think it was.
Well, ones that are listening to you are kind of involved in doing just that, just listening to you, listening to what's going on. And I think they'd rather listen and get involved at the time. It's interesting to them.
I just really would like to know how they're feeling. I want you to know that you're not alone out there. Everybody's going through the same thing. I mean, we're all wondering. None of us know.
Isn't that?
Go ahead.
Isn't that incredible, though? You mentioned Italy, the deaths and stuff they were having.
Oh, man. And I look at, I went over the numbers in China. China only had 3,248 deaths.
Yeah.
On their mainland. 85.
And look at Italy.
And I'm sitting here going, hold on a minute. Russia's on the border of China, and they only have 253 confirmed cases?
Well, you know why? It's because they actually do have a border that works.
But even still,
and
we have the
Putin,
same amount of deaths in our country as they do. I just find this really, it really makes me question the narrative I'm being told. It really does.
Putin don't let anybody in or out.
Well, then again, I go, do you believe anything China or Russia says?
Exactly.
But then again, can you believe anything our government agencies put out?
Exactly. But I do believe the Italians. But there's one thing.
I kind of believe they're the only ones telling the truth.
I do too. But I'm going to tell you what. I got thinking about that. And yeah, they got so many deaths over there, and it's so horrible what's going on with them. And I got thinking, Italy isn't much, get this, smaller than the state of New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. And they're just dropping.
In terms of land mass and in terms of population, they're crammed in over there like sardines.
And I don't know if is that fact? Did you look that up? Is that factual?
Try it for yourself. In comparison to us, I mean, we're populated. I'm not disputing that. But
yeah, we're not even. Don't believe the hype about population, because everybody in the Italy. Everybody in the United States could live in the state of Texas. I mean, it would be jam-packed, but everyone could live in the state of Texas. So you spread that out throughout the whole United States. We got plenty of room.
Exactly, and we're not doing too bad.
No, and Italy has 60.40 or 60.48 million people. So yeah, they're
for that small of a place.
Yeah, they're jam packed. I don't know what their land mass is, but
I think it's 116,000 square miles, I believe. Whereas I think it's New Mexico is like 128, somewhere in there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is equivalent to our New Mexico. So yeah, that country, and they're dropping like flies. But here's my thing: we got a lot of people in our state. But here we go again. We look at what is 83. What percent of that is 83 of 500? I mean, we can, what's do the math. That's over 10% of everyone being tested has got it.
And that's too high.
That's way too high. So you do. Check how many people live in the state of Indiana. I'm not even sure of that. I'm an idiot.
Oh, no, I did know, but I can't recall. It's, yeah. Oh.
We'll just say 6 million.
Okay.
It's 6.692 million.
Well, right now we got 6 million. Well, right now we got, 19,000 confirmed cases in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Here's another thing. You spoke about it a little while ago, all the hoops you got to jump through just to get tested.
Yeah.
Are all these basketball teams, football teams, so on and so forth, celebrities, they're not jumping through the same hoops.
No, and that makes you question what's going on with these rich. Why are only the rich being tested? And most of the time they have it. Times 0.10. 67. So you figure if 60 equals, you figure if 10% of our population gets it in Indiana, that's 60,000 cases in Indiana. And
alone, right?
Yeah, and they're saying the death rate, the mortality rate is between 3 and 5%. So let's go on the conservative side of 3%. That's 1,800 deaths if 3% get it in Indiana. 10% get it, 3% die. That's almost 2,000 people dying in the United States. Or in Indiana, right. I'm sorry, in Indiana. Now, if we go to 5%, that's 3,000 people dying in Indiana from, and that's if it stays at this 10%. Well, it's well over 10% actually. But
those numbers actually are no good unless you're testing everybody.
Yeah. So the thing is that it's. I don't think anybody's denying that the coronavirus is real.
Oh no,
I don't think anybody's arguing that anymore.
No, especially the people that's had it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing that anymore. I think people are scared.
Oh yeah.
They're scared of the mortality rate, but again, I look at China's. And their death in mainland China with 1.3 billion people, they have 3,248 deaths. That's as much as Indiana would have if 10% of the people got it and 3 to 5% died. That's how many would be dead in Indiana.
Right. Okay, so take that and compare it to the number of influenza deaths that we've had.
Exactly, and I understand. I mean, look, I'm quarantined. I quarantined my whole family. We don't go nowhere. And when we listen, nobody wants to leave the house and leave my house because of what you got to do when you get back to yourself. I mean, it's a whole rigmarole. So, I mean, we're playing it super overcautious. But
yeah.
It's just, it's not adding up for me. The more I'm looking at it, I'm like, something is obviously going on.
Right, but, you know.
But I mean, what is it?
I don't remember which year it was. But
is it this Q thing that, you know, you sent me a link to some of it. Is it this Q thing that we're hearing about? Or is it not?
Exactly. Makes you wonder. And I know that staggered you while reading that thing.
Oh, I read it on the air today. And it just you say, and Joe told me about it. He had that before, and you want to say, no, that can't be true.
Well, sure, you want to say it, but guess what? A lot of the things in that have already came true.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I questioned. Joe said, "Oh man, so many Saudi people in the royal family were arrested." I looked that up. Sure enough, it happened. In that Q thing, it says, "Oh, this is gonna," and this posted before this happened in Saudi Arabia. Oh, this stuff's gonna happen in Saudi Arabia, and sure enough, it's happening. And then they're calling for next in the U.S. Is that why we're getting locked down? Is that why there's so many military vehicles? Is the electricity going to go down because they don't want anyone to be able to see this happening lifetime? They don't want us communicating?
Here's something else strange. Well, not strange. It actually makes sense if you think about it, but every city right now as we speak that is locked down, is getting locked down, and closer to getting locked down than, say, we are. They're all sanctuary cities. Every one of them.
Yeah. And what hellholes them are.
Yeah. I mean, Maryland, basically the whole East Coast sport's over with.
I know Baltimore's been locked down.
Baltimore, New York, look at what they're going through in New York.
Yeah, and they're saying over 5,000 cases right now.
Yeah. New York alone. Florida, California.
I don't doubt the coronavirus. I don't doubt that it's there. I don't either. Is it as infectious as they're saying? Is the mortality rate what they're saying? I don't know. It would explain the shutdowns. It would explain the people losing trillions of dollars. But I can't say this enough. Something's going on. People don't lose out on. I won't lose out on $5. There's people losing out on trillions.
We know that virus alone was manufactured.
Oh, most definitely. And now I'm believing that it was set out on purpose.
Right. That's the next thing. That one there. It's easier to prove that it was manufactured, rather than prove that was.
And all of a sudden, Bill Gates resigns from Warren Buffett's committee and resigns from Microsoft. And where is he at? And then I have to go back to that Q post or that note from Q. I'm like, what? That's exactly what's happening.
I'll tell you what's funny. I'm sitting here thinking, I thought we're going to be lucky if we even see Tom Hanks again.
Oh, who knows?
Has anybody seen him on the news lately? And another one I think about is De Niro. Where's he at?
What, Robert De Niro?
Yeah, a short year ago, he was.
My opinion on that is who in the fuck cares?
Exactly, me either. I don't care about him.
I won't watch another Robert De Niro movie. He done fucking fucked himself. No, not fuck Trump. Fuck you, De Niro.
Yeah. I'm done with him myself.
So yeah, that's where I am on Robert De Niro. I don't give a rat's ass about him.
Yeah.
So anything special going on, Steve? I'm gonna be getting off here real quick. So
I went to work last night. Worked. What was it? 6 hours. I had a choice. I could have stayed there the whole 8.
Yeah.
I got paid time and a half for being there. and an extra 4 hours of vacation time for being there. And I'm scheduled to go in tonight. Now, whether I get off early, I don't know. It depends how lucky I am where I work at.
Yeah.
All time and a half.
Well, hey, you can't beat that.
No.
If you got to work, it's nice to make more money.
Yeah. And then I haven't let this out of the bag yet, but I'll be the next 5 days off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is your place closing down completely?
No.
Or are you just taking it off?
Well, I know that in time we're going to be down to a small skeleton crew.
Yeah.
A small skeleton crew. And seeing how I know that's coming, I basically I told the boss that, I don't want to be greedy.
Yep.
Swap up all them overtime hours, because the more of us that are greedy and doing that, the faster this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just like the toilet paper thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Share the wealth.
Right. Everybody got greedy. Now they got their homes full of toilet paper. And the ones that didn't do it are suffering for it.
Yep. I hear you.
Not that my life revolves around toilet paper. It just never did.
Just some people, they are into weird shit. Literally.
You're talking about, as well as I've always been a hunter and a fisherman. So I spend a lot of time out in the field.
Yeah.
At which given time, you got to go.
Yep.
And you're going to find something to wipe with.
Yep. Or not. Depending on who you're around, maybe not.
Right. And according to the old farmer's joke, that was for years and years, a corn cob.
Oh, yeah. A little rough on the anus, but it'll get your job done.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the difference between a Kleenex and a Brillo pad.
All right, Steve. Well, you stay safe out there, buddy. I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to have a few more things I want to say, and then I'm going to hop off here for the night.
Yeah, I might give you a quick call if you don't mind.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you then.
All right.
All right, Steve. You have a good night.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye. And that was our Mr. Steve. Always brings some levity to the situation and pretty much stays on topic. Toilet paper seems to be a big topic when me and Stevie are talking to one another. Oh, yeah, Steve does bring some levity to the situations. And he's not making light of anything. It's just that, you need that in times like this when people are nervous, we don't know. We need to have someone like that in our lives or be that person in somebody else's life. And that's what I want to talk about here at the end of the show, wrapping up. Everybody's asking what we can do. Well, I'll tell you what my family's been doing is, when was the last time you and your family or you and your kids sat down and watched wholesome shows with each other like we had when I was a kid? I'm not talking a beat 'em up cop show or, just something that's wholesome and nice and, maybe a little boring at a time like this to make you, we sat down and watched the Andy Griffith Show. And I mean, I feel like that's just great, wholesome entertainment. And you know what? We've lost that in this country. It's about everything's just nasty anymore. And I'm not saying I don't watch this stuff. I'm just saying that, you know what, sometimes you need to sit down with your family and watch something that's worthy of your time. You know, you watch all this stuff and this filth and drudge on TV, and the next time you do, sit down and ask yourself, is this worthy of my time? Is watching this filth worthy of my time? Do these people deserve my support and my money? Is this making me a better person? Is this informing me of anything? Is this teaching me and my children a lesson? And I'm going to tell you, if I ask myself that, 99% of the time, what I'm watching ain't worth taking time away from my wife, my children, or even myself, other things I could be doing. So, as we end this podcast, I just ask that, you know, be a little bit more picky on where you spend your time and what you spend your time doing and who you're spending that time with. You know what? I don't think it's a bad idea. My wife asked me this morning, where did you put my Bible? And you know what? I didn't even find it for her. I could have taken that time. I went out in the shop and got to work and never bothered. So I think when I get off here, if she wants to spend some time with God, man, that's worth the time. He's worth the time. He's worth more than anything or any person. So I think when I get off here, I'm going to go find that Bible that she asked for, and I'm going to let her, and maybe I'll join her, and we'll spend time with him. So, until next time, this is In Your Face with Fischer. This has been our Friday, March 20th, the year of our Lord 2020. Until next time, later.